You're listening to The Practical Vegan Mom. That's me, Jessica Jarmer. I'm here today with my son, Sam, who I am forcing into doing this. He's just thrilled. But I wanted to interview a high school kid and find out what it's like being vegan in high school. Sam, can you say hi to everybody?
Hi, everyone.
How long have you been 100% vegan?
Since 4th grade, so about 6-7 years.
Okay, a little louder. So listen, let me ask you this. Can you explain to everybody what our rules were prior to you becoming 100% vegan?
No dairy, whole life. And I was allowed to make my choices on what I would like to eat outside the house.
But inside the house?
Inside the house, completely vegan.
Correct. Okay, and when you were in 4th grade, do you remember what made you change?
I did it for Lent, and once Lent was over, I just felt healthier and just never went back.
And that was in 4th grade. So I hate to say this, people, and I'm not saying... let me rephrase this so I don't get in trouble with my other kids. But this one definitely makes me proud when it comes to food. Okay, so Sam, when you were in grammar school, what was it like being vegan? Did you find it hard? What were your greatest challenges?
My greatest challenge was probably birthday parties. Like when kids would bring cupcakes to school, I would rarely get something, but as I got older and I was like 6th through 8th grade, every time someone had a birthday, everyone knew I was vegan, so they would go pick me up something special and I would have something for their birthdays.
I do remember, I remember you storming down the street one time, and it was, I think, the end of your 4th grade year, and everybody that had a summer birthday brought in cupcakes for the last week of school, and you were so mad. You were tearing down the street, and you got in the house, you threw your book bag, and you said, "That's it, I'm done. 3 people had birthdays today, and I couldn't eat anything." Now, as much as I said no dairy, I used to occasionally make exceptions for birthday cakes. I used to say take the icing off, and you could at least have the cake. They would probably come home with a sour stomach, but they didn't care because they wanted to feel like everybody else. But when Sam made this commitment, it became more challenging. And he's right. I do remember that probably by around 6th grade, I would get phone calls from panicked mothers right before their kid's birthday in school, and they would say, "What can I get for Sam?" So people started to make a change for him, and it was really, really nice. I do remember we did have some places nearby at the time that sold vegan cupcakes and stuff, so I would usually go and pick something up, not to put the other mother out, because, you know, this was our choice. I didn't want to put that on them, but I would usually be the one running like a maniac the morning of, so that my kid didn't feel left out. Now, what about other events in the school? Let's say, you know, remember Student Appreciation Day? It would be bagels.
Yeah.
So how'd you handle that?
Just ate a plain bagel, or I would, if I knew prior there was a day with bagels or something that involved I needed to bring something, I would tell you, and I would get cream cheese, butter, just something to put on the bagel.
Yeah, the vegan stuff. We'd use like Earth Balance at the time, and I think back in the day when he started, the only...
Kite Hill. Or
no, Kite Hill was not there. No, it was Tofutti.
Tofutti.
Yeah, we're talking way back. So Tofutti was really the only brand we ever used. Now we use Kite Hill, and life is just wonderful. But when we would have ice cream parties, too, because that's always the big thing. They have ice cream parties, like Sunday parties at the end of the year. Do you remember those?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there were a few times in his grammar school career that I really screwed up, where I totally forgot about it, never got the ice cream there in time, and I just felt like the most horrible mother in the world. But when I had enough notice, I would make sure he had not only his vegan ice cream, but he had vegan toppings to go on it as well, so he felt a part of everything else. I will say what I've noticed most about Sam being vegan is that the level of respect he gets for it. He's not like one of those kids who was made fun of because of his choices. He really was given a lot of respect from his fellow classmates, and I was really, really shocked to see that. I guess there's just a different mindset nowadays. Did you ever come across a problem?
No.
And no one ever gave you a problem with it?
No, besides like Michael and all of my close friends just giving me a tough time for it, but joking around.
Yeah, most of his close friends gave him a tough time about it. And they still, to this day, they still give us a tough time about it, but it's funny, you know. So what about when you went to high school? I noticed a change in your diet when you went to high school. Did you find it more of a challenge when you got to high school?
The first couple months was a bit challenging because, you know, you buy lunch at school, and really the only thing I could eat there was a pretzel and fries. So I'd go, or a bagel too, and I would go a whole week just eating fries, pretzel, or bagel, and then that was for about a month, and then they had this salad bar that they opened up so you could create your own salad, and I would start bringing my lunch like once or twice a week, and then it became a lot easier.
Yeah. When Sam was going through this, we noticed a difference, too, in his energy level, in his complexion. Everything started to just kind of get bad when he was eating nothing but fries and pretzels at lunchtime. And luckily, I'm able to check that. Well, I guess I feel like a stalker from saying this, but I could see what he buys. So not only did he have his own body to deal with as it was starting to feel bad and his complexion was changing, but he had his mother to make him feel bad about eating that way. So what we wound up doing was helping Sam have more things on hand so he could bring them to school. So his complexion got 1,000% better when he went to Whole Foods. So now Sam is a very active, very well-rounded student. He eats really well. He made the adjustment. It took some time just because the stuff in the cafeteria was literally crap. So he wanted to be like everybody else and, you know, buy lunch at the cafeteria, but that wasn't necessarily the best option for him. So he's done full circle. He's really careful about what he puts into himself now. Sam also went through a very bad phase with Oreos. I will bring that up, Sam. He found a place at the end of our boardwalk. We live at the beach. And he found a place that used vegan batter on their vegan Oreos. And they deep fried them in vegetable oil. And that was just way too much goodness in his mind. So he needed to constantly order that one summer. But he started to not feel so good from that, so eventually that made its way out of his diet also. Now, how do you feel it's affected you as far as your health? Do you feel you are healthier? Do you feel you are stronger, or maybe not as strong and maybe not as healthy as other kids in your class? What do you think?
I feel like I'm definitely stronger,
Mm-hmm.
and my ability to not get sick is definitely way bigger than what it used to be. Used to get sick like twice, 3 times a year. One time if I'm lucky.
When? When did you get sick twice or 3 times a year? You played sick twice or 3 times a year. Let's try that.
What do you mean?
What do I mean? Please, let me just tell you something.
I would get sick.
He would get I forgot my homework kind of sick. Like, Mom, please, I have to stay home. I don't feel good.
I would get sick. I got this flu. I got strep throat a couple times.
All right, so let me digress on this. The only time my children ever got the flu is when I was a much younger mom, and I listened all the time to what the doctor said, and I got them the flu shot. I got both of my boys at the time a flu shot, and they got the flu. But after that, we never got the flu shot, and my kids never got the flu. They did get strep throat occasionally. My oldest is like a strep throataholic. He will get it. But my middle one here, Sam, he rarely gets it. And he is rarely, just don't be mad at me for saying this, rarely legitimately sick. It's usually missing homework assignments that are bothering his stuff. Please.
No.
Please. Anyway. So, needless to say, sometimes you need mental health days too, and I get that, but Sam is rarely sick. And he's involved in all types of sports. He stays very active, and he stays very healthy. I am a very, very lucky mom when it comes to this kid. Now, let me also say this. Sam has turned into an incredible cook. He can make dishes in like no time flat. I'm so proud of him and the stuff he comes up with. And 9 times out of 10, most of the stuff he's making is extremely, extremely healthy. Sam, what are some of your favorite dishes to make?
At the moment, probably my fried rice, my home fries. Really anything breakfast related. That's my favorite meal to make.
Okay. How do you make your home fries?
So I start with some fresh potatoes.
Okay.
Chop them up into little cubes.
Mm-hmm.
Throw them in a pan with some Earth Balance butter.
Oh, see, this is where we differ. I don't use oil to cook. This one only starts breakfast when I'm not home. Go ahead. And we rarely have butter in the house. I'm just letting everybody know that. It's when it comes into the house that Sam thinks to make his stuff. Go ahead.
So, some spices, paprika, salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder.
Mm-hmm.
Then you just cook it down
Mm-hmm.
takes about half an hour depending on how many potatoes you use.
Do you put a lid on it to steam the veggies at all? You do.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then once they start to fully get cooked, they're ready.
Yes, and they are gone in like 30 seconds because the other two are ravenously hungry all the time and the food is gone. What's another dish you like to make?
My fried rice.
Okay, so tell us about your fried rice.
My fried rice is kind of basic, but if we don't have just regular rice to cook, and I'm kind of in a rush, just go Chinese takeout, get some rice, and then just stick it in a pot, and then chop up some veggies, carrots, celery, scallions, and some onions.
Okay.
Put that in a bowl with a little bit of rice cooking wine, soy sauce, and a little bit of oil.
You with the oil. And I know when you go down to the Chinese restaurant to get that, you're getting brown rice, correct? Answer.
Sure.
Properly.
Sure.
My kids are fascinated by white rice. Their whole life, they grew up on brown rice. Then they get out into the world and they're like, what is this? This is heavenly. But most of the time, they are eating brown rice at home. Look, like I said, this is the practical vegan mom. I call it like I see it. I know my kids aren't always eating the organic stuff that I send them with. I know they were swapping it out for other stuff they weren't supposed to have. And in this case, if it's white rice over brown rice, sometimes we'll have to deal with that and live with it. You don't think brown rice would make it better?
No.
I'm sitting right here. Try again. You don't think brown rice will make it better?
No.
This kid. Anyway. So, going forward, what do you see your future like? Do you find being vegan easier than it used to be? And do you think going forward things will get even easier, or do you think things are more complicated?
I see things as getting more easier.
Getting easier.
Every other month, there's new vegan places opening like down the block, right next to each other. Like just in the last 3 months, there's been 3 new vegan places opened up.
Yes, I don't know where you live in the country, people listening to this, but we are extremely lucky where we are. We just had
Luna Verde.
Yeah, a vegan Mexican restaurant open up.
Alternative Plate.
Oh, yes, another vegan restaurant open up not far from that. And I feel like there was another one.
Was it in Asbury?
I'm sure. Place? Oh, no, that's been there. But we are surrounded by vegan. Now, here's my take on it. Life before, I know my son thinks this has gotten easier. For me, it's gotten harder, and I'll tell you why. I'm not the 16-year-old who can drop weight at the drop of a hat just because I think about it. I'm 40-something years old, and weight, likes to find its way on and stay. That being said, when I wasn't able to have a donut, guess what? I didn't have a donut because I couldn't. It wasn't vegan. Well, now they open vegan places or donut places that sell vegan, gluten-free donuts. Well, now it's harder to say no.
5 minutes right away from our
Yeah,
house.
one is a 5-minute, probably.
Even
maybe
less.
5-minute drive or less than that, and it's a 10-minute walk. And I don't care if we walk another 10 minutes or hour past that, it's not going to work off that donut if I eat it. But I still, now that I can say no, or now that I can say yes to it, I want to say yes to it. We also have a vegan ice cream place not far from us. Cookman Creamery, it is probably one of the best places. If you can Google Cookman Creamery, do it. I mean, you're going to be totally jealous that we live near this place. It's phenomenal. Anyway, that requires willpower too. Years ago, when I went to a place and they had vegan, again, it was Tofutti. You could get Tofutti ice cream, which, I'm sorry, Tofutti, I put my time in with you, but to be honest, the other stuff is so much better that they have out now. And Cookman Creamery makes their own stuff. So there's so many different options. So for Sam, it is getting easier. For me, because willpower is involved, it's getting a lot harder. So going forward, he's going to have an easier time of it, and I'm going to require more willpower. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully I don't put on a ton of weight living near all these vegan things, and I can say no to a few things. But for a kid growing up in this, it's definitely gotten easier. When he started, when he was in 4th grade, we were very limited with our choices. And now I feel like the world is at his feet, and he can eat just like everybody else. In fact, once this place opened up, this ice cream place opened up, it was the very first time my children ever had soft serve ice cream. It was kind of a momentous experience. I almost cried. I thought it was so cool that things have come to that now we could just walk somewhere and get vegan ice cream. So it was nice talking with you, Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah? Oh, yeah? I had to drag you out of bed to have this conversation, but I did, and I had to threaten him a little bit, but he's here. So I'm very grateful.
As long as I get food in the end.
He's going to always get food in the end. This kid eats. So until next time, I wish you health and happiness and lots of vegan food.